We don't mean to be a big downer, you know, as we go into the holiday, but you may be surprised how many people actually are hurt by fireworks every year.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 4th of July is anything but celebratory in the emergency room. Dr. Zorba Pastor is here looking very festive.
Great, happy
See, I got my
4th.
stuff. I'm all decked up.
Yeah.
I used to work in the emergency room, both at Meritor Hospital, but in Chicago.
Yeah.
And if you were on for the 4th of July, you knew injuries were going to come in.
Right.
And yes, you're not supposed to have fireworks and set them off illegally, but all you have to do is go around Madison and the suburbs around and see that there's a lot of illegal fireworks. Most important are the sparklers. I have no idea why we give, and that includes me included, 4- and 5-year-olds to run around with hot sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got to be careful. Think about the young children. You're going to give them a sparkler. I just know it. But just make sure they don't poke somebody else's eye.
Right. You were at the fireworks in Verona last night, and you said all the little kids were running around
with fireworks.
Yep.
So you've got to be really, really careful. And just kind of use common sense. And is it dangerous? Yes. But if you use a little sense, it might get better.
Yeah, one time I was using a sparkler, and the trail that burns off after the sparkles go down fell on my jeans and burned a hole right through my jeans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
so
exactly it.
You do have to be
Well,
very
that brings
careful.
me to grill safety. When I was a kid, I remember I picked up what I thought was a dusty coal. I must have been 6 or 7, and it was hot coal. And all of a sudden, it was terrible. You know, I had this, I didn't go to the emergency room, but I remember how painful it was. So when kids are around a grill, make sure they're not around the grill if they're small, because you're going to burn things on the grill, because that's what we do. And the fact is, they can be injured by that. So you've got to be very careful. The next thing is chicken. 1 out of 20 chickens or 1 out of 30 chickens has salmonella. Whether you want to or not, it's there. It doesn't bother the chicken, but it bothers us. So when you cook chicken, make sure you cook it to, I think it's 175 degrees. You can Google that number, but I know that number is safe. Get an instant read thermometer. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. There's no red at the base of the chicken, and then it's going to be fine. Chicken is really great.
Those thermometers are helpful, and I remember seeing some chefs say, like, if it feels like this part of your hand, that's a good indicator that the texture is right.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because it's squishy otherwise with that. So the thermometer, look at that, and if you're going to cook veggies, you cook them in a separate part of the grill, because once again, you want it to be safe, and you want it to make sure it's food safety. Now, when it comes to mayonnaise, modern mayonnaise, you actually don't have to worry about it. It's really not an issue. It's mayonnaise around other foods, which may produce something, because mayonnaise has egg in it and mayonnaise has oil in it, and things can then grow around that.
But burns are very a concern, and fireworks, not necessarily sparklers, but bottle rockets and things like that. If they go off in your hands.
Bottle rockets. And I know one of the kids in Oregon School, one of my friend Zach's friends, you know, lost an eye to a bottle rocket, and he only has one eye now because of that.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is look around, use common sense, and you may be safe on July 6th and July 5th, the days after July 4th.
Yes, give the people in the ER a break this weekend.
And remember, alcohol, although it's really good, may actually decrease your ability to make a good decision. So somebody else has to be in charge. Just like you have to have a designated driver, you've got to have somebody who's designated, who's not drinking very much, who then sets the rules for a good barbecue.
Yeah.
And like you said, we want everyone to have fun on the 4th of July.
Yeah, we don't mean to be
want
Debbie Downer
the 5th,
here.
the 6th, the 7th to be all good for you too.
Right,
That's right.
exactly. Have a great holiday, Zorba.
You too.
Thanks
You
so
guys
much.
do.
Thank you.